Welcome to this workshop on Oasis ETH. So let me introduce Oasis ETH. If you go to this oasiseth.org website, you will see quite a lot of information here. There's a white paper, some information about a token. There's a tab here called Uniswap. We're going to be dealing primarily with that today. We're actually going to be creating an ERC20 smart contract token and deploying that on the Oasis Mainnet Beta. So just before we start, I'd just like to mention here that there's a section called node operators. And if you click on this link here, essentially anyone is welcome to become a node operator and earn Oasis ETH awards. If you click on this link, you'll see some information how to become a node operator. There's documentation here about setting up the software. So you can go ahead and have a look at that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to this Uniswap section here and have a look at this example here. So the first thing that it's recommending to do is to install some wallet software. And in our case, we're going to be using MetaMask. So let's go ahead and look at that now. So MetaMask here in the browser as a Chrome extension. What we're going to do is, first of all, go and create a custom network. So we're on this Oasis ETH Mainnet Beta. So this is the RPC URL that you have to put in. So if you go into that section there, custom RPC, you paste in that URL, the network name, we'll call this Oasis Mainnet. Okay, and the chain ID is 69, and the symbol is OETH, OETH. The network token. All right, so we save that. Now, essentially, this wallet software is aware of the Oasis ETH mainnet. Okay, so now let's talk about accounts in this. So we have just a few accounts in here. What we're going to do is create a new account for this demonstration. So we'll give this account a name. We'll call it Tim. We click create. So now we have this new account with no network tokens in it. And here's the address up here. So the way to get some tokens is we take the address of that newly created account and we click on this Oasis ETH faucet here. And by pasting your address into this section, you'll receive one free Oasis ETH network token. And that's, of course, going to show up in the wallet software very soon. But just while that's working, we'll just talk about the next step, and that's to actually go ahead and create an ERC20 token and then deploy that on the Oasis network. And then we're going to go and use the Uniswap exchange protocol to trade that. Okay, so let's have a look at the wallet here on this newly created Tim account. Okay, so there's one Oasis ETH in there, so that's perfect. All right, now the section that we'll do next is we'll go and have a look at this free online smart contract development environment. And this allows you to not only write smart contract code, but also to compile it and also to deploy it. So there's a couple of sections here that we need to configure. In this section down here, if you click on the link from the page I was just on, you'll see that the information relating to the Oasis ETH mainnet beta is already pre-filled in here, so there's nothing for you to do. That's the RPC endpoint, that's the chain ID, same as that we put into the MetaMask wallet. So that's all ready to go. If not, you can just set that up manually. Now, the other important section is this accounts section. So every time you come to this build tool, it will actually just generate by itself a handful of accounts to use. What we're going to actually do is take this account that we created in MetaMask, and we're going to look at the account details. We're going to click this export private key here. What that's going to do is actually give us our private key. Now, of course, this is a network with a faucet giving away free tokens, and this is a demonstration. So you would never share your private key with anyone, but we're going to just cut and paste it here on this video demo this free token that we've just received. Now just notice that this private key starts with 3 CE. And we just head over to the build tool. We're going to import a new key, but the important thing that I want to share with you is that you have to start the key with 0x. So the first thing you do is have the prefix 0 lowercase x, and then you go ahead and paste the rest of the key in. And if you click OK, what that'll do is it'll place the key in this build tool. And so now we have a new public address here. You can see that this is now the default account for this build environment. So now when we deploy our contract, it's actually going to be deployed by this Tim account, because we've actually gone ahead and exported the account from the MetaMask wallet software and imported it into this software development environment. Okay, so the other thing we're going to do is we need to write some smart contract code for the ERC20 token. But what we're going to do is have a look at this website. So docs.secondstate.io. If you come to this site, the smart contract code has actually already been written for you. So if you just scroll down here on the left-hand side, you'll see here there's a tutorial for one of the Oasis Second State Community Hackathons. Okay, so if you click on that link, number 3, and you just scroll down here, this is actually a tutorial, a written tutorial about how to do this similar task, create and deploy an ERC20 contract. So you'll see here a lot of the steps we're covering are written down in this tutorial as well. And what we want to do is go ahead and click on this link here, which actually goes over to some code. If you click this raw button here, you'll get this smart contract code. And what you can do is simply just paste that into the build tool. And then make sure you come here and just click down, you make the Solidity version 0.4.26 for this to operate properly. Okay. All right, so with this particular token, it has a name called test token, and the symbol is TT1. The decimals, let's make that 18 decimals, and so the total supply here, that's what we want to do. Let's make it like 1,000, so 1,000, and then 18 decimal places after that. Now we compile that. Okay, and that produces the ABI and the bytecode. And ordinarily we'd use that to deploy this contract, you know, using the command line or cutting and pasting or what have you. But this build tool actually goes ahead and deploys this contract to the blockchain by simply clicking this button. The important thing you have to remember is this drop-down list. Because of inheritance, there's a lot of other components that make up this test token contract. So you don't want to deploy any one of these ones up here. These are ultimately inherited and they all culminate into this test token. See how we've got this written down here, contract test token inherits. Okay, so what we want to do is make sure you click test token here and then we click deploy. Okay, sending transaction to the Oasis Mainnet Beta. And in just a minute, we'll see it's going to give us back an address. So now this address here is actually the address of the ERC20 token contract called test token. Now, one of the things we want to do is put that into our wallet. So the wallet here has an assets tab and we want to add a token. So we click on custom token and we paste the contract address in there. And because the wallet software is set up to be aware of the Oasis mainnet, it'll actually go ahead and detect, oh yeah, there's that contract address and this is a symbol and that's many decimals and so forth. So if you click add tokens, you'll see here that we have the correct amount of tokens assigned. And so we click add, and now we're in this Tim account and we have these test tokens. Okay. Let's close a few windows here. Done with that faucet. All right, so the next thing we want to do now is we want to actually go ahead and trade these tokens on the Uniswap exchange protocol. And part of that is we need to actually create an exchange for this brand new token that we've just created. And we also have to provide some liquidity for that as well. So let's open up the exchange here. Now, the exchange actually connects to the Oasis mainnet via the wallet software. So because we've got the network set up in the wallet software, it's auto-detected and we're on the right network there. So if we go to the Oasis, I had to go and refresh this account. So we're on this TIM account in the MetaMask wallet. It's got one Oasis ETH and those 1,000 test tokens. And so now the website is actually also seeing that as well. Okay. So we want to go over to this pool tab here now, and we want to create an exchange. Now the token address is the one that we've just had the test token. So we want to click create exchange. So that activity, if you go away from the assets tab and into this activity tab here in MetaMask, you'll see that we've had one transaction to create the exchange. So now obviously the interface here with that token address in is saying that exchange already exists. So that's great. So now we're going to change over to adding liquidity. And so now what we do is we select a token that we'd like to add liquidity to. So the token address is of course that same one. And so now it's giving us a message here. You're the first person to add liquidity. So where the price that we set here is basically the price that it'll begin to trade at, the dollar value of the network token and the dollar value of this new ERC20 token here. So the first thing we do is we have to click unlock, and this allows Uniswap to interact with this new token. So the unlock process has worked. We go to the activity tab and we'll see here that approval function has executed properly. So we might put in here, say 0.5 of the network tokens, and then maybe 500 of the test tokens there. Okay. Okay, so that's giving us an exchange rate here and some information. And if you go into this center section, hover over here and scroll down, you'll see this add liquidity button. So we click that. Okay, we confirm that transaction. And this will come back with the pool share that we have for this test token and Oasis ETH network token combination. Okay, so there we have it. So we've added some liquidity to that pool. Now, if we head back over to the swap tab, and we can now trade. So we've got this network token and we've got our test token. So if we choose to transfer, say 0.1 of these, it'll actually automatically calculate the rate, the ratio here. And if you click on transaction details, you'll see here the finer details of this transaction. So we'll go ahead and click swap. So now we're trading on Uniswap. Click confirm. And so that balance will decrease and we'll have these tokens here increase. So now our balance is 583, which is correct. All right, so we'll try another bit of functionality here. We'll go over to the send tab. And what this allows us to do is trade tokens, but also to actually send the result of the trade off to another address. So let's use a little example here. So if we go into this accounts list here, and there's this test account over here. If we take that address and paste it into our clipboard, then what this TIM account might like to do is say we want to pay that person and they want to receive the Oasis ETH network token. So in this, we'll select Oasis ETH, but we might have some of this test token and we would like to pay them in that. So we might give them 10 of those. It's then converted to the network token that this recipient wants to receive it in. So what we do is go ahead and do a swap and send, essentially, in the same transaction. The balance here being 583.12. And that's swapped and sent off. And now we have 573. And now this other account actually has some network tokens being paid to it. Now, the other things you can do, of course, at the end is we've created a new exchange and we've added liquidity and we've swapped and sent. And the last thing that you could do is remove that liquidity back out of the pool. And so we click on this token, we would basically go ahead and take steps to remove our liquidity. And that is about the end of the demonstration. So please go ahead and check out the oasiseth.org website. There's plenty of information there. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, please get in touch. Thank you very much.